This is Video Game Growing Pains, my first video review ever. Today we will be looking at Sang-Froid, Tales of Werewolves. This game is an indie darling that I think doesn't get enough attention, so I wanted to talk about it. This game focuses on Joe and Jack, the O'Carroll brothers, trying to protect their sister Josephine and survive attacks by werewolves during the Canadian winter of 1858. However, early on it's revealed that something sinister is afoot. The game is divided into two different parts. The first is combat, where players can attack with their axe, dodge, run, and shoot their musket, as well as use a number of special abilities. The second focuses on planning. You see, Sang-Froid is a trap defense game. Rather than setting up towers to automatically attack enemies, you have to plan during the day and set traps to delay or kill the wolves and other beasts chasing you. Some of these traps are automatic, while others need to be triggered by the player. Using each of these traps requires practice, and the first few times you miss, you will die. Also, some traps persist, and this can be both a blessing and a curse, as if you haven't prepared, say with zip lines, previous nights, then you will find yourself hard-pressed to win the later stages. The game isn't too cruel, though. Josephine has premonitions that will tell you which direction the wolves are going, so you can plan accordingly. Characters can also level up, to improve the strength of their traps, their own abilities, or give new effects to old tools. During the planning phase, you can also visit the village, which is a general store, a blacksmith, a saloon, and a convent. Perhaps by now you've noticed it, but this game has a very unique identity. It's set in Canada, in particular the Quebec region, and features items, liquor, and religious ideology of the time period. You fight with axes and muskets come onto lumberjacks, heal using alcohol, and can even get weapons blessed at the convent to make them more potent against demonic entities, like werewolves. All of these require money, which, since you're lumberjacks, you can get by logging, after you've set your traps, or by killing wolves at night. So, how does this game stack up? Well, combat is functional, but a bit clunky. Sometimes it's hard to roll or attack, and the timing takes some getting used to. The various traps you can set up are cool, but the actual hand-to-hand combat feels a bit stiff and can be frustrating at times. However, I'd be remiss if I didn't mention the fear factor. See, combat in Sang-Froid is made more interesting by the fact that enemies will circle, but not attack you if they are afraid of you. The icon in the corner shows an enemy's fear compared to your own, and while theirs is lowered, they won't attack unless you get close. This lets you use your traps, heal, or reload your musket, which can take quite a while since it's only a single-shot gun. This adds to the strategy, as you need to balance fighting a large group of enemies, some spread out all over the map, while protecting certain buildings, lest you lose the game. The real satisfaction of Sang-Froid comes from its traps, which are all very interesting and period-appropriate, such as hanging nets, wolf traps, gunpowder barrels, or even mystic trees or zip lines. They require more thought than your average tower defense title or action game, and is very refreshing. Graphically, the game is rather weak, barely being on PS2 level. However, the aesthetic itself is very unique, and I find it quite charming personally. Story and cutscenes are either done through still images that are panned about, or portraits of characters talking with minimal movement. It's serviceable, but won't match up to Crisis or Modern Warfare. The music, however, is some of the game's strongest parts, as is traditional Canadian music, featuring concertinas, banjos, string instruments, and vocal tracks to create an evocative, folksy score. Here, take a listen. Is that great or what? The voice acting can be pretty cheesy, I admit, but that has its moments. The O'Carroll brothers are done well enough, but the devil steals the show. So, do I recommend Sang-Froid for fans of tower defense, strategy games, and action titles? Almost certainly. It's a game that is monumentally rewarding, as it requires a lot of planning to be successful at it, but when your plans come together, it feels amazing. Also, despite the cheesy acting and minimalistic visuals, it spins a pretty good yarn, featuring ice demons, Indian skin changers, werewolves, and the devil himself trying to corrupt a tiny little town, and the efforts of two brothers to stop them for their bedridden sister. Surprisingly different from the norm, and quite welcome. The game has very deep mechanics, but goes out of its way to give players tutorials, hints, and will allow them to retry levels if they messed up down the line, or get experience from their failures to level out their characters. It's very approachable and well worth the $15 on Steam. If it's not on sale. If it is on sale, definitely pick it up. Sang-Froid gets the Video Game Growing Pains seal of approval. It's a unique title that, while not perfect, manages to tell a fresh story, have rewarding mechanics, and doesn't fall prey to beginner traps, like dumping the players in with no help. or common cliches of storytelling. I heartily recommend anyone give Sang-Froid a try. It's a love letter to Canadian culture and a fun game besides. Catch you later.